My friend, let me start by asking you something simple. How many nights in the past week have you woken up once, twice, maybe even 3 or 4 times just to go to the bathroom? If that has been happening to you, I want you to know you are not alone. I meet so many men over 60 who quietly live with this problem as if it were just a normal part of aging. They feel tired in the morning, they lose their energy during the day, and they start to believe that nothing can change. But let me tell you something from the heart. After many years of listening to men like you, the problem is not always just age. The problem often starts with something much more ordinary, something we almost never think about: the food on our plate. Yes, the simple choices we make every single day at breakfast, lunch, and dinner can either protect our prostate or slowly irritate it, making nights more restless and days more uncomfortable. I have seen men improve their sleep, their bladder control, even their confidence, just by changing a few small things in what they eat. And I have also seen how the wrong foods, eaten every day without noticing, can create inflammation, hormonal imbalance, and those endless trips to the bathroom at night. That is why in this conversation with you, I want to share something that can make a real difference. We are going to talk about 5 foods that quietly harm your prostate and 5 foods that can support it, soothe it, and help you feel more in control again. This is not about complicated medical terms. This is about practical, simple changes that any man can start today. Think of it this way. Your prostate is a small gland, often forgotten until it starts to cause problems. It is like a quiet neighbor who suddenly makes noise at night. When it gets inflamed or out of balance, it affects your sleep, your bladder, and even your mood. But just as a noisy neighbor can be calmed down, your prostate can also be cared for, if you give it the right environment. I want you to stay with me until the end, because what I will share could save you many nights of broken sleep and many days of fatigue. And I do not say this lightly. I say it because I have seen the transformation with my own eyes. And before we dive into those foods, I want to invite you to take a small but powerful step right now. Go to the comments and write about your situation. Tell me if you also wake up at night, if you feel pressure in your lower abdomen, or if you simply want to prevent future problems. Write it down so I can support you in the next video. Your story matters. You are not alone. And this space is here for you. Let me start with something that may already be on your breakfast table. Bacon, ham, sausages. I know they taste good. I know they are part of many family traditions. But I also know what they do inside the body, and it is not kind to the prostate. Processed meats are filled with preservatives like nitrites and nitrates. On the surface, they seem harmless, but once inside the body, they can transform into compounds linked to cancer, including prostate cancer. These meats are also heavy in sodium. That extra salt makes your body hold on to water, raises your blood pressure, and puts extra strain on your urinary system. And when your urinary system is pressured, the prostate often suffers the most. On top of that, processed meats are rich in trans fats and saturated fats, which feed inflammation, and inflammation is the perfect soil for prostate problems to grow. I remember one man in his early 70s who came to see me. He was waking up 4 times each night. He thought it was simply age. But after reviewing his diet, I noticed he had bacon and sausages almost every day. I asked him to cut back. Within weeks, his sleep improved, and the number of bathroom trips went down. So what can you do? Replace processed meats with lean, fresh cuts of beef, chicken, or turkey. If you love burgers, make them at home with pure ground meat and natural spices. The difference in how you feel, especially at night, can be remarkable. Now let us talk about dairy, milk, yogurt, cheese. We grew up believing they were always healthy. And yes, in moderation, they can be fine. But too much dairy can upset the delicate balance in your prostate. Milk naturally contains a hormone called IGF-1. High levels of IGF-1 have been linked to an increased risk of prostate cancer. Milk also carries small amounts of estrogen, the female hormone. When those build up in the male body, they can tilt your hormonal balance, leading to inflammation and possible growth in the prostate. There is also casein, the main protein in cow's milk. Some men do not digest it well. It can create pressure in the bladder and an ongoing urge to urinate, even when the bladder is not full. I recall one of my patients, a 65-year-old man who loved his glass of milk at breakfast, yogurt for lunch, and cheese with dinner. He could not understand why he was waking up 3 times each night. When he reduced dairy and switched to oat milk, his nights became more peaceful. My advice is simple. You do not have to abandon dairy forever, but be mindful of how much you consume. Try plant-based alternatives like almond milk, oat milk, or coconut milk. They taste good, and they are easier on the system. If you enjoy cheese, choose less processed kinds and use smaller amounts. Think of your hormones like an orchestra. They need balance. One instrument playing too loud throws everything off. I want to speak to you honestly. I understand how tempting fried foods and fast foods are. The smell of French fries, the taste of a juicy burger. These pleasures are real. But the price they demand from your prostate is also real. Saturated fats, found in fried foods, fatty cuts of meat, and much of the fast food out there, raise bad cholesterol and feed inflammation. And where there is inflammation, the prostate suffers. But that is not all. These fats also help form plaques in your arteries, blocking circulation. And when blood flow decreases, less oxygen and fewer nutrients reach the prostate. A poorly nourished prostate becomes weak and inflamed. Some research even shows that too much saturated fat can disturb testosterone levels, creating further imbalance. One of my patients in his 60s had been struggling with an enlarged prostate. When he changed from frying his meals in vegetable oil to baking them with olive oil, his symptoms eased and he began to feel stronger. What is the solution? It is not about never enjoying food, it is about smarter choices. Use olive oil instead of butter or margarine. Add avocados, walnuts, and fatty fish to your meals. These give you the fats your body needs without feeding inflammation. Cook by baking, grilling, or steaming. That way, you still enjoy the taste but protect your health at the same time. This one may be uncomfortable to hear, but I must say it. Alcohol, especially in excess, quietly irritates the prostate. I am not here to forbid you from enjoying a drink. Life is meant to be lived with pleasure, but too much alcohol creates a storm inside the male body. First, it shifts your hormones. Alcohol raises estrogen and lowers testosterone. And when that balance is disturbed, the prostate becomes vulnerable to swelling and discomfort. Second, alcohol directly irritates the urinary system. That urgency you feel to urinate but cannot fully relieve? That can be traced back to what you drink in the evening. There is also the issue of dehydration. Alcohol pulls water from your body, making your urine more concentrated and more irritating to the bladder and prostate. I think of a man I once treated who had 2 glasses of wine every night. He thought it was harmless. Yet he was struggling with an enlarged prostate, constant fatigue, and broken sleep. When he reduced his drinking to once or twice a week, his symptoms improved and he felt more rested. So here is my suggestion. You do not need to quit alcohol forever, but choose wisely. Enjoy a glass of red wine now and then, with food. Alternate every drink with a glass of water. And most of all, listen to your body. If you notice irritation the next day, take it as a sign that your prostate needs a break. Finally, let us talk about sugar, the silent enemy. It is not loud, it does not sting right away, but it works against you every single day. White bread, soda, cookies, pastries, sugary cereals. They give pleasure in the moment but create inflammation in the long run. Too much sugar spikes insulin levels, and over time, that leads to chronic inflammation throughout the body, including the prostate. Excess sugar also promotes weight gain, especially belly fat. And that belly fat is not harmless. It produces estrogen and blocks testosterone, throwing your whole hormonal system off balance. I remember a patient who did not change his medication or start new exercises. All he did was cut down on sugary snacks and switch to whole grains. Within weeks, his nighttime trips to the bathroom decreased and he felt lighter. Sugar also feeds a dangerous cycle. You eat something sweet, your energy rises, then crashes, and you crave more. This constant roller coaster can create insulin resistance, which some studies connect to faster prostate cell growth. And what about white bread or white rice? They are sugar in disguise. They digest quickly, causing the same spikes in insulin. That is why choosing whole grains matters. Eat 100% whole wheat bread, brown rice, quinoa, or oats. If you want something sweet, turn to nature. Apples, pears, and berries satisfy your craving while giving you fiber and antioxidants that actually fight inflammation. Now I want to pause and ask you, how many of these foods are sitting on your table right now? If you see yourself in this list, do not feel guilty. You are not alone. Many men your age grew up with these habits. The good news is that every small change counts. Cutting back even one of these foods can improve your nights, your bladder, and your energy. Let me begin with something simple, familiar, and often sitting right in your kitchen. The tomato. You might think of it only as part of a salad or a sauce, but this humble fruit carries one of the strongest allies for your prostate: lycopene. Lycopene is a powerful antioxidant. It protects your prostate cells from oxidative stress, slows down aging, and helps reduce inflammation. That is why many studies link tomatoes with a lower risk of prostate problems, including enlargement and cancer. But here is the important detail: lycopene is absorbed best when the tomato is cooked. That means tomato sauce, tomato soup, roasted tomatoes. I had a patient in his late 60s who used to eat white bread with processed meat every morning. He struggled with waking up 3 times each night. When he changed his breakfast to whole grain bread with fresh tomato and a drizzle of olive oil, he noticed something surprising. Within weeks, he was sleeping through the night without interruptions. It was such a small change, yet it brought him so much relief. Tomatoes also give you vitamin C, which boosts your immune system, and potassium, which helps regulate blood pressure and muscle function, including the muscles that control your bladder. You do not need to become a vegetarian. Just add more tomato dishes into your week. Each serving is like casting a vote in favor of your prostate's health. Now let us talk about the vegetables many of us avoided as children. Broccoli, cauliflower, kale, cabbage. They all belong to the Cruciferous family, and they all hold a secret weapon for prostate protection: sulforaphane. Sulforaphane supports the liver in clearing toxins, and it calms down chronic inflammation. Both are crucial when it comes to keeping the prostate in good shape. These vegetables also help balance hormones. Many men with little physical activity and high-sugar diets end up with too much estrogen compared to testosterone. Cruciferous vegetables gently restore a healthier ratio, preventing unnecessary prostate growth. They are also high in fiber, which helps digestion. When your digestion flows smoothly, there is less pressure in the abdominal area, and that means less strain on the prostate. Here is a tip: if you do not enjoy steamed broccoli, try sautéing it with garlic and olive oil, or roast cauliflower florets with turmeric, salt, and pepper. Suddenly, it becomes a dish full of flavor and benefits. I once spoke to a man who admitted he had hated broccoli his whole life, but after his prostate symptoms worsened, he gave it another try, roasted with spices. Now he eats it twice a week and feels lighter, with better test results too. Tiny, crunchy, and often overlooked, pumpkin seeds are a natural treasure for men's health. They are packed with zinc, phytosterols, and omega-3 fatty acids, all of which play a direct role in supporting the prostate. Zinc is essential for regulating male hormones and keeping the prostate functioning normally. Low zinc levels have been linked to a higher risk of prostate enlargement. Phytosterols, on the other hand, block the conversion of testosterone into DHT, a hormone strongly tied to prostate growth. And omega-3 fatty acids fight inflammation throughout the body, including in the prostate. Including pumpkin seeds is easy. Sprinkle them on your salad, mix them with oatmeal, or just keep a small jar for a healthy snack during the day. Choose unsalted seeds to avoid stressing your kidneys or urinary system. One of my patients, a 62-year-old man, replaced his afternoon cookies with a handful of pumpkin seeds. Within a month, he noticed that his nighttime bathroom trips had decreased, and he felt more energetic during the day. Such a small change, yet it created a big difference in his quality of life. If there is one simple habit that can quietly protect your prostate, it is drinking green tea. This ancient drink, enjoyed for centuries in many cultures, contains catechins, which are powerful antioxidants. They reduce inflammation, fight free radicals, and help prevent abnormal growth in the prostate. Some studies show that green tea can slow down prostate enlargement and even ease symptoms of benign prostatic hyperplasia. I like to describe it as a gardener inside your body. It trims excess growth, clears away unnecessary inflammation, and keeps everything in balance. Green tea also acts as a mild diuretic, helping the body release extra fluid naturally, without overloading the bladder. That means less irritation and fewer nightly bathroom visits. But here is an important note. Not all green teas are equal. Bottled green teas full of sugar do more harm than good. The best way is to brew your own cup at home with plain tea leaves or simple tea bags. And if caffeine makes you restless, choose decaffeinated green tea. It still holds many of the benefits without disturbing your sleep. I recall a patient who used to drink coffee in the afternoon. His sleep was broken and he felt constantly tired. I suggested he switch to green tea. Within 2 weeks, his sleep improved, and his urgency to urinate at night decreased. Nothing else in his routine changed. Just that one substitution brought him peace at night. Finally, let us talk about one of the most powerful foods for men's health: fatty fish like salmon, sardines, mackerel, and trout. These are loaded with omega-3 fatty acids, nature's strongest anti-inflammatory tool. Chronic inflammation is one of the biggest threats to the prostate. Omega-3 fatty acids work from the inside to calm it down, improve circulation, and stabilize hormones. Better circulation means more oxygen and nutrients reach the prostate, keeping it healthy and strong. There is also strong evidence that men who eat fatty fish 2 or 3 times a week have a lower risk of developing prostate cancer. This is not just coincidence. It is the combined effect of reducing inflammation, improving hormone balance, and protecting the cells themselves. One of my patients had never eaten much fish except for canned tuna. He began adding baked salmon and sardines in olive oil twice a week. Not only did his lab results improve, but he also felt more energetic and noticed less stiffness in his body. His prostate symptoms eased and he enjoyed his meals more. If fresh fish is not easy to find where you live, consider omega-3 supplements, but choose carefully and, ideally, with guidance from your doctor. Not all supplements are the same. A simple, tasty way is to prepare a salmon fillet with turmeric, lemon, and olive oil. It is delicious, simple, and your prostate will thank you. So now you know, my friend, that the foods you put on your plate can either harm or heal your prostate. Tomatoes, cruciferous vegetables, pumpkin seeds, green tea, and fatty fish are not exotic or unreachable. They are everyday foods that, when included regularly, can give your prostate the calm and balance it needs. You do not need to change everything at once. Just start by adding 1 or 2 of these foods to your week. Every choice you make is an investment in your prostate, your energy, and your quality of life. My friend, if you have stayed with me until now, I want to take a moment to thank you. Because listening, learning, and opening yourself to change is already an act of courage. After 60, it is easy to believe that nothing can be different, that waking up at night, living with fatigue, or feeling discomfort is simply part of getting older. But today, you know more. You know that the food on your plate is not just filling your stomach, it is shaping your nights, your energy, and the health of your prostate. We talked about the foods that quietly irritate and inflame your prostate: processed meats, too much dairy, fried foods, alcohol in excess, and refined sugar. They may bring comfort for a moment, but in the long run they steal your rest and create imbalance. We also explored the foods that can protect and restore your prostate: tomatoes with their lycopene, cruciferous vegetables with sulforaphane, pumpkin seeds rich in zinc, green tea with its calming catechins, and fatty fish with omega-3. These are not expensive miracles. They are simple, everyday foods that, when chosen consistently, become powerful medicine for your body. What I want you to remember is this: you do not need to change everything overnight. You do not need a perfect diet. You only need to start. Even one change, like replacing bacon with fresh lean meat or switching your afternoon coffee for green tea, can give your prostate the relief it has been waiting for. Over time, those small steps add up. I have seen men just like you transform their lives with simple choices. Some took weeks, others months, but all of them agreed on one thing: it was worth it, because life is not only about living longer, it is about living with dignity, with strength, and with the freedom to enjoy your days and your nights without being chained to discomfort. So here is my invitation for you. This week, choose just one change from what we talked about. Add one healthy food or reduce one harmful food. Notice how your body responds. And if you want me to continue guiding you with more ideas, more meal suggestions, or more real stories, write it in the comments. Your voice matters here. And now, before we close, I ask you for a little favor. If this video has been useful to you, please support this space so we can reach more men who need it. Press the like button, subscribe to the channel, and stay connected for the next videos. And write in the comments the number 1 if you liked it, or the number 0 if you did not. That way, I will know how to serve you better. Remember, every tomato you add, every handful of pumpkin seeds you eat, every cup of green tea you choose, is not just food. It is a message to your body that you care, that you are investing in your well-being, and that, my friend, is the most powerful medicine of all.